Hello guys, in this video we are going to troubleshoot this Toshiba L300 that refuses to power on. So the power connector on this thing is in a rather bad shape. Not sure you can see in there. It's not quite where it's supposed to be, and you can actually move it all around. But the weird thing is that you can still plug something in, and it does plug in, sort of. Okay, it went in. Let me plug in to the power socket and open it up, and you see we have, actually you cannot see, we have LEDs here. So power is going into this thing. Let me try and power it on. All the LEDs shut off. The power LED blinks for 1 second. Let me try and zoom in, and everything shuts off then. And if you hear really carefully, you can hear a faint click when it tries to power on. Not the click from the button after I press it. Just a sharp, faint click. So, yeah. First thing that we can try, remove the charger and remove the battery. Obviously plug the actually no, sorry, don't plug in the charger, forget about that. Just hold the power button for about 30 seconds, 1 minute. We need to discharge everything in this laptop at this point. Okay, at this point do not plug in the battery, leave it out of the way. Simply plug in the charger. If I could actually do it. And weirdly enough, yeah, only now this went green, the power LED. It was not green until now. Let's try and power it on. Nope, same click. Okay, remove the charger once again. And at this point, weird things start to happen. I've seen somebody try something that I do not know if it has any chance of succeeding, but I am going to try it before starting to open up this laptop. Okay, we have green LED once again. Doesn't power on. He said he pressed escape, held it pressed, and then the power while holding escape. Nope. In his case, the laptop tried to power on, then shut off, but the next time when he only pressed power without escape, it powered on normally. In my case, it still doesn't want to power on, and by the sound of that sharp click, I'm thinking this has some sort of internal short somewhere. So I am going to start tearing it apart and yeah, removing memory, hard drive, whatever I can find in this thing, they are going to come out. But I will do that in high-speed video because it will take a while. Okay, as you can see, I have the bare minimum right here to try and power it on. It still does the exact same thing. Tries to power on and then shuts off in a second. So it's not the CPU, not the memory, not the Wi-Fi, not I don't know, any other thing that was connected, touchpad, battery, whatever, keyboard. It's something that is already glued to this board that it's causing our problem. This is the best way to troubleshoot something. Go to the bare minimum. I'm going to try and see where the click comes from. Maybe I can spot a defective component, but honestly I'm not really sure of my chances. If I cannot spot anything, I will try to reflash the BIOS. If that doesn't help, I will try to reflow the chipset, and I think the GPU. One might be the GPU, maybe this one, and maybe this is the chipset. And as you can see here, I don't really like the color on that thing. It's a little bit brownish, so maybe it got too heated up at some point. I do not know. Just remember to tell you something else. Before getting to this level, just look inside the USB ports. Sometimes the pins get bent and the port itself shorts. If you have a shorted USB, some computers actually do not power on. It's a protection. But in this case, network, USBs, this expansion slot, everything seems to be okay, no shorts, nowhere to be seen. So yeah, I will continue. Okay, haven't worked on this thing for a few days now, had other things that needed more attention, but I still thought about it, and the more I think about the particular situation, the more I realize it's something from the power delivery. And without really good board repair level skills and decent equipment and schematics, your chance of finding that, if it's not something like a blown fuse, which obviously it isn't because it does try to power on, are really slim. So what I can actually do now, I don't know, try and test this battery right here, see if it has any voltage, and it seems to doesn't have one. So I will try to give it, I don't know, I will check online and see what it should actually get here. Maybe it's 3 volts. There are some weird situations where a computer does not actually power on without the BIOS battery. I don't know if this is one of those. I will try it. Then I will desolder the BIOS chip and see if the problem remains exactly the same. If I see any tiny sort of change, then I will try and reprogram it and solder it back on. If absolutely nothing changes, then it's again not the BIOS chip, because if you have a problem on a board and you change something that causes that problem, the problem will modify at least a bit. If you change something that has nothing to do with the problem, probably nothing will be changed. So yeah, and I will, as a last resort, try to reflow this chip, but again, I don't have high hopes for that, so yeah, let's see what we can do. Okay, so let's check again. Top is negative, this should be positive, 0 volts. So this thing has, oh, actually not 0. Or am I charging it from, yeah, I might be charging it from this. There is a chance I am charging it. This is a lithium rechargeable 3 volt battery. And I'm going to, yeah, if I don't drop anything, which seems to be impossible today, I'm going to give it around 3 volts. Yeah, almost 4. Shouldn't burn anything up. And see if we do have power. Let me just turn that off until I do connect some things in here. Okay, I will just keep it like this. Hopefully I don't short anything. Plug in the charger. Power on the charger. And yeah, because I haven't worked on this thing for a few days, I don't remember where the button actually is located. Ah, here it is. That's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all to reach it. Yeah, I'm going to do my best. Let's put this wire up top. Okay, should be able to make a good contact here. Hopefully not short anything. Power on and see what we get. Just about nothing. That's a bit weird. I'm gonna try and put back the CPU, although that shouldn't actually matter. So this thing refuses to power on anymore. Okay, so I just think that wasn't making contact because it does power on. Although I put the CPU in, it still didn't want to power on when I was trying this, so maybe I have something on the ends of it. Could be. Could be. Anyway, whatever. Let's try again with it. No, it just doesn't want to short it. How hard is it to short something? Okay, this works a bit better. So let's give this thing 3 volts, but again, I don't feel confident about this at all. So let's put the negative. Oh, I think I actually put it the wrong way around last time. Did I put the white one instead of putting the green one? Could have made a boo-boo. Okay, so this is the correct voltage, I don't know how to call it. Nope. Exactly. Oh, maybe I should power this one. Same thing. So even if I give this thing 3 volts with the correct polarity, still doesn't want to power on. And I still hear that click, so either something is damaged or the I don't know, some components from the power delivery are just making noises, and they would make noise even when working normally, but yeah, so this wasn't it. And just so you can see that I actually gave this thing correct voltage, look where we are now. It did charge a tiny bit. Let me just unplug the charger, so we are sure that the charger even isn't giving that voltage. Nope. So this is what we gave it. Okay, so again, there's been a few days in which I didn't work on this thing, had other projects, and this is taking my whole space and I want it finished. So let's do something about it. This is the BIOS chip right here, is a 25 series chip. I can rewrite this with my programmer, so now I just need to unsolder it without damaging anything around it. Okay, the BIOS chip is soldered onto the programmer and inserted into a USB port in my computer, and up until now all is well. This is not a tutorial on how to rewrite a BIOS. I've done something on those lines for another laptop, so you can check out that particular video. This is the model of my programmer, CH341A. There are other tutorials on YouTube for this. So you can just click detect, it sees it, it's a 1 megabyte EEPROM, I think that's the term for it, and I simply click read to see if it can actually see something inside of it. Yep, and this is the original info in this BIOS, and I'm going to save this just for I don't know, fail proof. Okay, and now I'm saving it. As you can see, it supports bin and hex files. Saved it, and now I just want to erase the chip itself. I normally just do one more read just to make sure everything is okay. This is a small chip, so it reads it quite fast. It's all empty, as you can see. Now I need to open up the other BIOS. It's this file, and you might be thinking, how did I get to this file? And I will show you just in a second. Okay, so to get to that BIOS file, I just searched Toshiba L300 BIOS, first link, download this executable file right here. It got me this thing, double click it, it's an auto extracting archive. It extracts this folder, and in this folder I just started looking at files that might be a BIOS, and this one was exactly 1 megabyte in size. So that is our BIOS. In other situations it has the extension .bin, or it has no extension, like these two files don't have an extension, but these are empty files, so clearly not our BIOS. And 99.99% this is the BIOS, so I copied it right here, and at this point I'm going to open it. And as you can see, data looks quite similar to the one that we previously read from the other file. So at this point simply click program, and it's writing it to our chip. it's a bit slower than reading. Okay, data is written. Just as a failsafe, click on read once again and see if it can actually read it well. And it does, and nothing changed. So now I will unsolder it from the programmer and put it back onto the motherboard. And the BIOS chip is soldered right back in place. Not the greatest job ever, but it is soldered. And I'm not even going to clean the area around it until I see that it actually did some good. Okay, let's see if it made any difference. Yeah, it's not starting at all now. Nope, actually it is doing exactly the same thing. So, as I suspected, it's not from the BIOS and most likely something from the power delivery. I have fixed laptops by reflashing the BIOS, but they were trying to power on. So they were flashing the LEDs or doing something, not just powering on for half a second and off directly. So yeah, this was a stretch to try, but it was rather simple, so why not? I didn't want to kick myself for not trying it. And now, I don't know, I will attempt to reflow the chipset, but again, this would have way bigger chances of success if at least it would try to power on. So power on without image, power on beeping continuously, something, but not like this. This is most likely power delivery, but I don't see anything physically wrong. Diodes seem to be okay, capacitors look fine at least, fuses are okay. Yeah, it's kind of beyond me. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. I tried to remove the battery. Some online forums were saying that sometimes a bad BIOS battery will prevent a laptop from powering on. It's a bit different from standard computers. So normally if the battery is bad, sometimes it powers on if you completely remove it. Not the case. I'm not going to reflow the chipset because I'm 99.99% it's not because of it. That click and just trying to power on for a tiny bit of time, this would not do that. It's clearly something in the power delivery, so it's better. I'm going to sell this whole thing for, I don't know, $5. If somebody needs the display and any component of these things, it's better I do not do more damage to it. Maybe they have an idea how to fix the power delivery and I do not have one. So yeah, that's about it. I'm wasting just my time. I'm trying something that I'm pretty sure it will not work, and I'm actually making this board even worse than it is by heating it up really badly. Okay, I'm going to start assembling it, but I am going to keep some of the components. Maybe they will help me with future repairs. I'm going to keep the memories, the CPU and the Wi-Fi card. And the rest I'm just going to slap back together. I'm going to just clean this because I don't want it falling into the CPU socket. And yeah, that's about it. Another thing that I'm going to keep, although it might look weird to you, is this silicone pad. It was on the chipset, and as you can see, you can reshape it any way you need. So I'm going to put it in a sealed bag and maybe use it in a future laptop on the chipset itself. I'm also not going to put all the screws back in, because this will never function in this particular form. It will be just a parts donor, so it doesn't matter that it doesn't have all the screws. So I've put one here, one there, and one needs to go here, one needs to go there, and one needs to go there, but those three I will not put in. So next, let's put in the keyboard. At this point in the reassembly, you simply fill every single hole that you can see with a screw. They are all the same, but I'm going to put back in about half of them, because once again, this thing is just a parts donor at this point, so it doesn't matter if it has or doesn't have all the screws. As you could see, because I reassembled this in a hurry, and I wasn't really paying attention because I knew that it would not power on anyway, I forgot to put in the charging cable or the power cable, whatever you want to call it. You might say, okay, why does that matter? Because I'm curious if this battery will ever get to green. Meaning, does this battery have any life in it? Will it even charge at least? So yeah, I was just curious about that. So this is what I'm left with: single core CPU, really crappy, 2 GB of DDR2, one Wi-Fi card, bunch of screws. I always need this when repairing laptops, 2 smaller screws from the card itself, and this moldable silicone pad. Yeah. And this does exactly the same thing. So it's some kind of short, I'm 99.99% sure. And yeah, not fixable, at least with my level of skills. So that's about it, guys, for this video. I hope it helps you at least a tiny bit in troubleshooting your particular model. But if you don't have really good skills in board level repairs, your time is more expensive than trying to fix it, so get another motherboard. At least for this thing I could get a motherboard for about how much was it? About $15, something like that. But then again, this whole thing, at least in my country at this moment, seems to cost about $30. So yeah, and I then need to get a better CPU because that one is just single core, and single core in 2018 is like non-existent. So yeah, that's about it. So thank you very much for watching. Sorry that it didn't end on a happier note with this thing powering on, but yeah, it is what it is, and maybe I will just give you an update at the end of the video if the battery actually charges or not in the end. And that's about it. Just wanted to add that the battery indeed seems to charge, and it took about an hour and a half for the battery LED to turn off. And if I try to power it on, it will actually try to power on battery power. The power LED just flickers. And the same clicking noise, so yeah. At least now I'm sure it's not something directly related to the charger itself, because even on battery it's doing exactly the same. As for the remaining capacity of the battery, absolutely no clue. So yeah, this has been it guys for this video. Couldn't revive this one, but yeah, parts of it for sure will be used in other laptops to repair them. And yeah, that's about it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you found it useful, maybe enjoyable, who knows, give it a like, check out my other videos, subscribe to my channel, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye!